Hello everyone, myself I am Dr. Violet and today I am here to discuss about some of the very important topics that we need to study when we are preparing for CSIR NET Life Science. So today we are going to discuss about the topics as well as the reference books from Unit 7. Now Unit 7 is all about animal physiology, where we need to understand the various systems that are present in our body, like cardiovascular, respiratory, how the hemostasis mechanism works. So before I go into the topics, the important topics, let us first discuss about the questions distribution. Now if you go through the CSIR question paper, okay, so in one exam, usually from part B, we will find questions around 3 to 4. And in part C, usually 4 to 5 questions are asked. Okay. So this is about the overall Unit 7. Now if you see the number of questions that are asked from various subunits. So from 7A, maximum 1 question is asked. And it can be either from part B or from part C. From 7B, maximum 2 questions will be asked. And it can be like that, like it can be one part B and other one can be in part C. 7C is respiratory system. It is an important subunit. So again you can see maximum 2 questions can be asked. One can be in part B, other one can be in part C. 7D is again an important subunit. So maximum 2 questions. One can be in part B, the other one from part C. 7E, which is sensory organs. So usually 1 question is asked from this subunit. It can be either part B or part C. Okay, or sometimes it won't be asked even. Okay, questions will be from other subunits. 7F is important. It is excretory system. So maximum 2 questions are asked. One can be part B and the other can be part C. 7G, that is thermoregulation. So usually it is seen that maximum 1 question is asked. And sometimes they ask that in part B or they can also ask in part C. Okay, so that way they ask questions from 7G. 7H, that is stress and adaptation. So usually I have seen that from stress and adaptation related to the hormones, they ask maximum 1 question, that too in part B. 7I, that is digestive system. So here again maximum you will find 1 question and usually the questions are from part B, like what are the enzymes involved in digestion. Okay. Then coming to 7J. 7J is all about endocrinology and maximum 2 questions are asked. Okay, it is an important subunit. So it can be like one question can be in part B and the other can be in part C. Okay, so this is about the question distribution. Now let's see the syllabus first for Unit 7. So as I mentioned, there are 10 subunits. Now the very important subunits, that is 7B, cardiovascular system. Blood in circulation, as I said, it is not very important. Okay, but to understand cardiovascular system, you need to know blood in circulation. You cannot skip this subunit completely. Next, coming to 7C. So 7C is very important. Okay, usually the questions over here, they are graph-based questions. So you need to, though it is a very small subunit, but you need to understand how the various factors affect the oxygen saturation curves. Next is nervous system. Again, it is important. Maximum we saw 2 questions can be asked, one part B, one part C. Sense organs are not very important. Okay, maximum 1 question can be asked. Now, excretory system. Here you need to study excretory system thoroughly, where questions can be asked from electrolyte balance, blood pressure, blood volume, even urine formation. Sometimes questions is asked. So majorly this is an important subunit. Thermoregulation, it is an easy subunit. Okay, and as I said, 1 question can be asked and it can be part B as well as part C. So usually the questions over here, they are asked from acclimatization. Stress and adaptation is not very important. Okay, 1 part B can be asked. I is not at all important, I would say. Okay, just 1 part B questions, 1 part B is usually asked. So it is not very important. Now next is endocrinology and reproduction. Let me tell you all, this is very important. from exam point of view. You need to know about the various endocrine glands, the hormones that they release, the action of the hormones. Sometimes even they ask questions from the structures. Okay, so that also you need to understand the various structures and how the synthesis occurs. So that is again another topic that you need to go through when you are studying about the various hormones, the diseases associated with it. So usually they can ask one part B as well as one part C question. And here in this subunit, you should also know about the reproductive system. Usually questions are asked from female reproductive cycle. So this is an important subunit. So as we can see over here, B, C, D, F, J is very important. Okay. And then sense organs, blood and circulation also you should study. And thermoregulation, stress and adaptation, they are very simple subunits. Okay, usually general type of questions are asked. And digestive system is the least important one over here. So now if we compare the topics like the most important, moderately important and least important. So most important topics will be about the hemoglobin structure. Okay, you need to know about hemostasis, how blood clotting occurs. Then what is ECG, what is the graph associated with ECG, its principle, the significance, how the cardiac cycle works, what are the various phases of cardiac cycle, blood pressure, the neural and chemical regulation that occurs. Then from respiratory system, the important topic is exchange of gases, waste elimination, and neural, that is the nervous system and chemical regulation that occurs during respiration. Then the next important topic is neurons. You need to know all about neurons, how action potentials are generated. Then from sense organs, you should study about vision and hearing, that is eyes and ears. Then excretory system, as I mentioned before as well, it is very important. You need to know about how urine formation occurs, how the waste is being eliminated, how urine gets concentrated, what's the role of various hormones, what is micturition, how the water balance is regulated, blood volume, blood pressure changes, electrolyte balance, acid-base balance. Then next is endocrine glands, the basic mechanism of the action of various hormones, hormones and diseases. The reproductive processes, gametogenesis, ovulation, neuroendocrine regulation. So these are some of the very important topics. So you should star mark it and study it thoroughly. Now next is moderately important. So usually from here the questions can be in part B. Okay, or sometimes it might happen that one part C they might ask. So moderately important is you should know about the respiration, comparison of respiration different species, the anatomy associated with it, how the transport of gases occur, how oxygen is transported, how CO2 is transported. Next, coming to the topics from nervous system, that is gross neuroanatomy of brain and spinal cord, central and peripheral nervous system, neural control of muscle tone and posture. So this is moderately important topic. Then from excretory system, comparative physiology of excretion, kidney, that is the structure of kidney, and urine formation. Next is about the comfort zone, body temperature, physical, chemical, neural regulation, and acclimatization. So as I said, one question can be asked, so it comes under moderately important topics, and even stress and adaptation, it comes under moderately important. Okay. Now the least important ones will be from the blood and circulation, where you need to study about the various blood corpuscles, their characteristic, how hemopoiesis occurs, okay, formed elements, then the function of plasma, blood volume regulation, blood groups. So all this is least important. Okay, rarely they ask questions from here. Even this comparative anatomy of heart structure, okay, or myogenic heart, the specialized tissue. So the structures, the histology of myocardial fibers. So those are least important. From sense organs, tactile response is never asked. And as I mentioned, digestive system, that is digestion, absorption, energy balance, BMR. So these comes under some of the least important topics. So what you need to focus more in Unit 7 is these topics that are most important topics, as well as you should try to go through the moderately important topics. Okay, and if you want, you can just have, once you can read the least important ones, and later on you don't have to focus more on these least important topics. So that was about the various important topics. Now, what are the reference books that you need to follow for Unit 7? So I would suggest go through Guyton and Hall, that is a textbook of medical physiology. Then the other important book is Principles of Animal Physiology by Moyes and Scull, and Principles of Anatomy and Physiology by Gerard J. Tortora and Derrickson. So these are very important and good textbooks that you can follow. Try to follow the most recent editions, okay, so that will have more information. So in that way your knowledge will be more up to date regarding the topics from Unit 7. So that was all for today. Thank you everyone.